Welcome to Beyond90seconds.com. I'm your host, Mark Horner, in Tucson, Arizona, where the sun is just about to rise, which means it's about to set in East Africa. And when we get up for the past 6 weeks or so, unfortunately, the headlines out of Kenya have been headlines of violence ever since their political unrest, their December 27th election. So much controversy, so much bloodshed has followed. This program is part 2 of our special report, Crisis in Kenya. And it's a look at the concern for Kenya and what makes Kenya special for an Arizona woman who's made several trips to that country over the past 5 years. In fact, she says she's about to return to Kenya in the very near future. Time now for part 2 of Crisis in Kenya. For an Arizona woman, he is her conduit to hope, her light. For years now, she has trusted Faustine Jack Omandi to distribute her donations to Kenyans in need.
Look at that little baby on the shoulders over there.
But reaching Omandi has proven difficult since violence erupted following Kenya's recent presidential election.
I don't know. Even if he's alive, I don't know if he's alive.
Louise Furman ultimately did hear from Omandi after this interview, and I reached him too, just as I was about to put this report on the internet. Speaking from his home in Kisumu, Omandi told me that his brother and several others had recently been attacked by young people who had illegally barricaded a road. Were there people killed?
Yeah, I understand about 2 people were killed. They were slashed to death.
They were slashed to death.
Yeah, that's right.
Omandi told me that the violence in Kenya is not the result of bad blood between his Luo tribe and President Mwai Kibaki's Kikuyu tribe.
Well, nothing could be further from the truth.
Omandi says, in large part, the violence has resulted from what he calls the government's oppression of people living in Western Kenya. He believes that while the violence has been horrible, the situation will only worsen if peace talks, mediated by Kofi Annan, fail.
Should that opportunity pass Kenya, I see Kenya burning up more than it happened in either Burundi or Uganda or even Rwanda. It is so bad here.
And he says there is even more need now for aid, like the help Furman has funded.
Her heart is so big. She donates, and she when she commits to do something, she does it with all her heart.
Aboard her boat on Lake Victoria, Louise Furman feels perhaps more alive than at any place she's ever been.
The boat is called the Yahweh.
A boat she first saw as it emerged beneath the tools of the craftsmen who made it. I have learned the Yahweh symbolizes so much of what Furman has come to love about Kenya.
It just gets addictive. It's addictive.
Vibrant land, exotic creatures.
Close to us. Look at them run. Oh, there they go.
Adventures everywhere. And cultures too.
They greet each other. There's such fellowship and everything between the men, especially. I watch the men a lot and how they interact with each other. I don't see that among the American men. I don't see that going up and grasping each other and the handshake, and I just don't see it.
But that Kenya, the one Furman has come to love over the past 5 years, now seems far removed from the nation making headlines around the world. Despite the post-election violence, Furman plans to return to Kenya in April. She says she's already bought her ticket.
These are the Maasai, and I'll use my shadow.
It will be her 7th trip in just over 5 years. She says she's always felt safe.
Nothing's happened yet, but you know what? The day may come when you're replaying this. when I'm in some hospital somewhere after a mugging, but by and large, no. I've never had anything happen, ever.
I'm reminded of something else Furman told me about Lake Victoria. She spoke of a plant choking its shores. The problem so great, it can be seen from space.
The international communities have been onto this for probably the last 10-15 years, trying to kill this stuff. It's called water or lake hyacinth, and it has choked the ports of Lake Victoria, which means that Uganda and Kenya and Tanzania cannot have real freighters going back and forth like they used to. And it changes all the time. It will go, a week later that might be clear water, and this will go on up to Uganda or go to another area. But this particular day, we came down to the pier because there was a big crowd gathering, and there were these 3 long boats, and you can see in this one that there's a rope there, and they're trying to pull it out to the free water. These are people who were in the town Homa Bay all day, and they want to go out to their home on the island, and the motor can't work because it's getting tangled into that. It's shallow enough that he is trying to pull it through. It's like Humphrey Bogart with the African Queen, and he's pulling, and then the other man in the back, standing up with the white shirt, he has like a punting pole, and he's pushing it out. We watched them for an hour and a half.
And now it is Kenya itself that struggles with a different type of choking. The grip of violence. Still, Furman,
This was a gift to me from people in the Luo tribe.
who's a recently retired registered nurse, looks forward to April and reconnecting with all of the interwoven cultures of the East African country.
We must say Louise has done a wonderful thing for this organization. Please guys, can we clap? Can we clap?
But now she says she no longer has the money to help.
I'm past the point of giving out my pocket. I can't do it anymore. I'm on Social Security. I can't do it anymore.
She hopes people will donate to her effort to help Kenya and remains confident it will go to good use. Like the time she says she gave $500 to a preschool so that it could have a tank for storing water.
Way up by the trees, you used to have to get the water.
Yeah, it's about 21 kilometers from here.
Okay. And every day you had to bring the water down.
Yeah, you get some.
One person had to bring it,
Yeah,
right? Okay,
yeah.
let's see where the water's coming now.
Now the water is near here,
Oh.
yeah, which is just a minute.
Right, it's
from
just
here.
a minute from the school.
Yeah, you can see it's very.
So you have made progress.
I gave the water tank, but he had to put a lot of work in putting all the pipe in up miles away. But it beat what they had to do, which was to walk several miles and carry the water down. Carry. We just don't know what people go through for the basic things like water.
And it is that same determined resolve that Furman believes Kenyans have in their uphill quest to find peace, too.
I really do think that when I go back in April that it will be better. Let me just call it this, because this is what it is. It's the birth pangs of a new child. When you're in labor, it hurts like hell. There's blood, there's fluids, there's junk, there's pain, there's everything. Until that new life comes, and then you celebrate the new life and you forget all of the pain and the blood. I feel that Kenya is in the middle of its pain and its blood and its misery now. And I do think that something very good will be born out of this. Amen.